Hey everybody, on the road to Big Al here. I thought I'd do a video on Ryan Transport broker review, RTS. I do some other business with RTS. I have a fuel card and I do my factoring through RTS, so I have some other experience with RTS. Factoring, basically in trucking, these brokers take 30 to 45 days to pay you, and if you need to be paid early to pay for your fuel and other, your insurance and other expenses, these factoring companies will pay you immediately the next day. If I get my paperwork in by before noon, I'll get paid the next following day for the load. I pay 2.75% per load for RTS for that service, and also have a fuel card through RTS. I've talked about it in some of my mud flap videos. I paid a $75 activation fee for it, and I pay a $5 a monthly fee for it. And it's a pretty good card. It gets discount. I get a 12-cent discount at every Pilot, Flying J, and then a bunch of smaller gas stations or fuel stations, stops, mom and pops places. It, gets a discount. But now mainly I use Mud Flap for all those smaller places. Mud Flap usually beats all the RTS prices, but I keep the RTS card because because of the 12-cent Flying J Pilot deal. Basically, to pay for the $5 a month, you literally only have to fuel up once or twice a month, and you pay for that card. Under the brokers, I started off. They really didn't have very many loads, but the loads are kind of adding up, and they're getting more and more loads. I've got an app on my phone, and they make everything pretty handy. It's since I use their factoring company, I can upload all the paperwork and everything and send them in on that app. The fuel card has all the fuel stops. It's pretty handy. It has, like, you put in your route you're going, and all the fuel prices come up. You can search on your route, nearest place for fuel, cheapest place for fuel along that route, which makes all that handy. And then they have freight. If you're set up to broker loads through them, book loads through them, they have all their freight. Search, find it. As far as the prices go, like how well they do, I think they're a tad bit on the low side of some of the other brokers. It's not terribly bad. Like I booked a load through them the other day, $2,400. The average price was $26. It seems like they consistently are just $100, $200 below the average. You hardly. They usually offer the price right on, like they offer the price, so they're kind of upfront. This is what they're offering, and on the app you can bid and offer a little more. A couple times they've taken my bid, accepted my bid, but for the most part they just come back and, like, if they're offering 24, you say 25, they'll come back and say 24. And you either accept it or decline it, or if you don't want to do it for 24, you don't have to do it for 24. But like I said, they seem to be getting more and more loads. Pretty good to work with. I've worked with RTS overall. I got my authority 3.5 years ago. So when I got my authority, I set up for their factoring, and I actually set up for their fuel card before I set up for the fuel card while I was still with Knight Transportation, being an owner operator. So I've had the fuel card for almost 4 years now. When I first set up with Ryan Transportation, it was for the fuel card and stuff. I had my own guy. He had his own phone number and was able to call. That guy's moved on, but he was real easy to talk to. You literally just call him anytime. Hey, I have this problem, and it was easy to deal with, and so that was kind of why I went with them. I knew I could, talk to somebody, and if I had a problem, there was a real live person I could talk to. So that's why I kind of did the factoring through them. With the factoring, I have they've changed who handles my account a few times. It's not as easy. I think the company's grown over the years, so it's not as easy to just pick up the phone and talk to somebody. But whenever I've had a problem with like factoring, like sometimes they deny to pay because something's wrong with the paperwork or something. I've pretty much been able to send an email in and talk to them, and I've pretty much been able to get a response.
Continue on the road.
Pretty much been able to get a response from them anytime that has happened. So pretty much my thoughts on them, they're pretty good. They're pretty easy to deal with. Their app is I like their app. It handles everything that I do with them. Handles the factoring, handles the trucking, handles the fuel, freight, all of that. Whenever I've dealt with anybody, they've seemed pretty friendly. Although, like I said, the company's grown. A little harder to get a hold of people on the phone, which is kind of understandable, but I kind of really liked the relationship I had with the first guy with the fuel card, because the fuel card, to download my IFTA and stuff, at the beginning I had problems, and I just had his number and I'd called him up and he took me through it step by step. Hey, this is what you got to do. This is where you got to go. This is if you do this, this is how you get your IFTA. And I was able to fill out. I was buying all my fuel through RTS. Like I said, real quick, I talked about RTS, but I'm talking about Mudflap real quick. I buy most of my fuel off the Mudflap app now. It's a good app, no fees. Just download the app, check it out. I'll keep this quick. I'll put the link in the description if you want to check it out. It's pretty good. They got pretty good discounts. No fee. Doesn't cost you anything if you download the app. I think right now I got an email temporarily $20 if I sign up a friend, but that's probably it's probably a temporary promotion. But for the most part, I think if you download the app and buy fuel, you'll get $10 off your first purchase, and I'll get a $10 credit. Free fuel, you get the discount. If you buy a lot of fuel like I do, you get pretty good discounts. I've saved almost $4,000 off the price of the pump. Thanks for watching. I'll see you down the road, on the road to Big Al.